All right, day two, Movember. I'm making a video every day for Movember just on men's health and well-being. And one of the things I want to focus on today is John Eldredge and the Ransomed Heart Team. Now, John Eldredge wrote a famous book called Wild at Heart. And off the back of these books, its subtitle is Discovering the Secret of Man's Soul. And off the back of these books, Wild at Heart, gatherings became popular, and it would be last year in November. I went to my first Wild at Heart gathering. I still wear the dog tag from those events that are sort of memorial of that, and I wear a cross as a result, because John baptized me on that weekend, which was a special part of that, and that's a different video that I've got available on YouTube. There's a lot that you can talk about in regards to coming to God, and especially a Christian relationship with God. But I suppose I want to talk about something I listened to this morning in one of their resources. And Bart Hansen is one of the team there, and he talked about 3 questions that he would leave us with at a Wild Heart gathering. They'll get you to go off and contemplate these 3 questions. And I wrote them down because I wanted to get them right. One was, what makes you come alive as a man? What are you passionate about? And for a lot of men, our passions get sold off for responsibilities, or for some of us, sold off to avoid responsibilities. And a man can go a long way into his life and not be living a passionate life. The second question is, what is God calling you to risk, or where is God calling you to risk? Once you come back into a passionate life, especially a life trying to live Christ-like, it's like, well, we still want, and I can still have the habit of choosing comfort over character. And so it's a challenging question, like, where today is God calling me to risk? And there's some certain things in my life right now where there's things that I never thought I'd be doing, going and doing sort of ministry training and learning at Bible college. I thought I would have just kept going on as a counselor, and getting a sidecar for the motorcycle to sort of go into a different level of risk with my kids, because they really want to come on the motorcycle with me, and the areas of your life where you need to venture but you're just afraid. So where's God calling you to risk is a great question to contemplate. And the other one is how is God the Father validating you today? What validation do you need, and how are you being validated? I'm a big fan of a pastor called Dan Moeller, and he talks very much about sort of being in relationship and not praying for an easier run, but praying to live with the values and of Jesus, than to live Christ-like, and that's the message of the gospel. And so these guys, when they talk about men's work and men coming to God, what makes you come alive? Where is God calling you to risk? And how is the Father validating you now? Where is your need for validation? Is the literature that John's written helps men get to those questions. So Moving Mountains was another great book of John's that moved me deeply. I remember Brandon, if you listen to my Movember videos, Brandon Henry, pastor and counselor in Arkansas, he, I remember calling him and saying, "Man, I'm having trouble riding with these Christian guys, and I just don't feel God like I can see they do." And he said, "Man, read this book." And that book got me onto Wild at Heart. Wild at Heart got me to the gathering where I met John, and the rest is history. And John's written a lot of books, but Wild at Heart, then fathered by God, sort of help you to explore that relationship. Where do I need God's validation? For a lot of us, we're under-fathered men. There's a lot of men, boys raised by single moms, and God bless them for doing that. But the absence of the father, there's no role model. There's no masculine role model. So coming into a relationship with God allows us to go for our initiation through the Heavenly Father, and then to sort of join together as a band of brothers and get the support we need for each other. Not, as they say in some 12-step fellowships, we look for accountability partners. I don't need an accountability partner. I need someone's like a spiritual warrior that stands beside me, that's got my back, that keeps me on my true north, and I can keep them on their true north, I knew a guy in 12-step fellowships used to say the way they work is that we're all not messed up on the same day. And I believe that now, because any day can be challenging. Each day as I walk in the morning, sometimes it takes me quite a bit of focus to get my head back into hope and potential, and out of loathing and self-condemnation. So one of the ways that John and the boys talk about how you sort of get this initiation is to have and invite into your life things that we needed as children. And I'm a father of 3 boys under 8, and they talk about the need for adventure. And when we're boys, we need to be beloved sons. We need to just be nurtured and loved and held. And boys get a lot of that through physical touch, and the casual adventure that's on offer for kids, and their need to be seen in that adventure and encouraged in that adventure. The Superman jumps and the floor is lava, and all that, learning a bike for the first time, for the first spill off a bike, trying new things, and really encouraging them through that desire to do something new, and the difficulty of not having the skill. Anyone that's had a young kid knows what that painful moment's like. Lots of being held and crying. As we get older, they talk about the need for men to have crucial or critical adventure, things that require a bit more testing. We're not climbing down at the kids park now, we're at the rock climbing wall, or we're learning abseiling, or we're not just learning to ride a longboard on shore breakers, we're now out the back and trying to ride that 6-foot swell. And so as teenagers get to that point, as their warrior emerges, they need that critical or crucial adventure. Robert Bly, and John quotes Robert Bly in his books, he certainly wrote about the need that older men are meant to hold the circle so young men can make their glorious mistakes. And he makes that point that when older men aren't there, that the mistakes that the young men make aren't glorious, but they can be quite dangerous. If we can get this beloved son experience, and then as that young warrior develops, and we take on those challenges and grow our skill and sort of learn that we've got what it takes, and certainly that message is reflected back by our earthly fathers and uncles and mentors, then we're ready as we grow up into kingship and then sageship for the epic adventure, which is the noble adventure of life, where we're living of service, where we're helping others, where we are trying to be there and rescuing the hearts of others in jeopardy and hardship. And what John points out in his book, which sometimes doesn't get pointed out in the other more secular literature, is that in secular literature, yes, we can get together in men's groups and we can learn from each other and try and find a mentor in our community. And certainly John Eldredge promotes that too. But the critical difference is that we can be fathered by God, that we can take back and be reinitiated. The need for being a beloved son, if we didn't get that as children, a need to be go through that warrior phase and to practice and do some critical and crucial adventure with in relationship with God, and then preparing us for the epic adventure. I was lucky enough to, even though I'm an older guy, to apply for Become Good Soil, which Morgan runs through Ransomed Heart, and that's on at the same time as when I got baptized last year, and I'm really excited to be involved in that, even though I'm probably going to be the old guy, because it's usually aimed at guys between 35 and 45. So if you're a man out there listening to this, and you mightn't be a man that's interested in God, so please reach out and for that secular literature. Robert Bly, John Lee, Sam Keane, James Hillman. These were books written about men needing to get that bit they missed out on from their fathers in childhood. And if you are open to and really want to receive God and learn from the Christian literature, then I really, around Menswork, I can't go past John Eldredge, their Ransomed Heart Team, the Ransomed Heart app. It's changed my life, and I really hope that through Become Good Soil I can go on and on in this, and I'm very grateful for the intervention in my life that it's been. So please donate to Movember. Look up Ransomed Heart Ministries online, plenty of books, plenty of literature, and I really hope that it can be useful to you. And remember, be gentle with your heart today. Donate to Movember. Bye.